The UK government has made more changes to their immigration rules. Some people may see it as good, others may see it as bad, depending on which part of the coin you fall, right? So in one of my videos, I talked about how the government was preparing to bring out a white paper where they will state comprehensively what their plans are to cut down on immigration and a whole lot. But this is not it. This document that has just been published is called the Statement of Changes of Immigration Rules. Someone will say, what is that? Well, quite often, the various governments that come into power look into their immigration rules and see what they want to add, what they want to subtract, or just clarify for more clarity's sake or for people to easily understand. And so that is what has been published for this year 2025, and we'll be going into the details of this shortly. But before that, if you are coming across my channel for the very first time, my name is Philomena, and on this channel I talk about motherhood, lifestyle, living abroad, and general inspirations. So kindly hit that like button as you are watching so YouTube can recommend it to as many people as possible. And also don't forget to share and hit that subscribe button to join this amazing family. Let's get right into today's video. The Statement of Changes was published on 12th March 2025. Very huge document, right? About 130 something pages and also a lot of technicalities in it. Fortunately for us, there has been what they call the explanatory memorandum to the Statement of Changes in immigration rules. So this is more like a total explanation of what is entailed in the Statement of Changes. Yeah, so this is the document we are going to use for simplicity's sake and also not to make this video so long. So let's get right into it. They have made changes to the introduction of visa requirements on Trinidad and Tobago. They have made changes on Ukraine permission extension and homes for Ukraine schemes. They have made changes on EU settlement schemes. They have made changes on skilled worker visa routes. And for the purpose of today's video, this is what we are going to focus on. Changes are being made to the provisions for care workers and senior care workers. These changes are being made in response to the growing pool of workers in this route who no longer have sponsorship because their sponsors have been unable to offer sufficient work and or have lost their sponsor license. The changes require sponsors to try to recruit from this pool of workers who are seeking new employment before seeking to sponsor new recruits from other immigration routes or from overseas. To enforce this requirement, sponsors must provide confirmation from the relevant regional or sub-regional partnership that they have tried to recruit in this way and confirm that no suitable workers are available from this pool. So this is actually very good news for especially people who had come to the UK on the care worker visa route, because there are so many people that have been scammed through this route, come to the UK just to realize that they've been scammed out of their money. Some will be asked to pay for COS to come, and when they get here, they do not get jobs for them at all. Their agencies do not get work for them, they do not get shifts for them, and then they are there, they are not being paid, and they have to struggle to make ends meet for themselves. And now this is your sponsor. You have restrictions on your visa too. You can't work outside for a certain number of hours and all that, and then this your main employer does not get require time for you to work to earn the money that you need to survive. How painful it is, right? And so it's very good news for people in this category. Personally, I have a friend who came to the UK, unfortunately for him, to London, where the cost of living is so crazy, to stay there without a job and without salary. Imagine that. He came here and his employer is not giving him work, is not getting him jobs to do, is not getting him shifts. And luckily it has resolved because he's gotten a different employer and things are okay. However, it's not a lot of people that are able to easily get different employers to make life easier. Some also have their agency's license revoked, and then when that happens, the workers become stranded. When your agency's license is revoked, you are given a limited time to find yourself a new employer or you leave the UK. So imagine if you have spent so much, even pay for your COS to come here or sell properties, borrow monies, here and there to travel to the UK to work. It's not easy to travel, especially from Africa to the UK, because you need lots and lots of money to do that. And then you try your possible best, you do all that, you get here, and then you are asked to return because your employer scammed you. You see how devastating this is. So at least this is very good news for those in the UK that are stranded on this visa route. Now they are going to be prioritized, because you cannot just get up as an employer going to a different visa route to go get someone, or even overseas to get someone to come and work. So it's very good news. However, some people also see it as negative news for especially those that want to come to the UK on this visa route to work. So now it becomes more competitive and the jobs becomes quite limited, because now they have to employ those here first before, if there is any space left, they will look outside for overseas workers. It also helps the government to reduce numbers of people coming into the UK, since they want to cut down on immigration. And so these changes relate only to care jobs with working locations entirely in England. Applications relating to working locations in Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland are unaffected. So they are saying that this is only for the care workers here in England, those stranded here in England, maybe because it's really prevalent in England and other places. So if you are from Wales, Scotland, or Northern Ireland, you will not be prioritized when it comes to this. It's only the workers that are located within England that will be prioritized for that. The changes also do not apply to workers in England who were already sponsored in these occupations before the changes take effect, including those changing employers or those switching from other immigration routes who have been working lawfully for their sponsor for at least 3 months. So you cannot say, oh, I do not like my employer, or I do not like where I'm working, so I'm going to just change. Well, it's possible to change, but you will not be prioritized. Okay, so those that are going to be prioritizing are those that do not have the work to do, or those who have been scammed. So if you just want to change your job, no, you cannot be prioritized. If you want to switch visa routes, no, you will not be prioritized. So changes are also being made to update the minimum salary floor from £23,200 per year, or £11.90 per hour, to £25,000 per year, or £12.82 per hour. So this is an increment, right? This ensures that these salary requirements continue to reflect the latest pay situation for UK workers. As the government intends to shortly publish an immigration white paper, the changes are being limited only updating the minimum salary floor. This is to ensure it reflects the latest data and remains significantly above the national living wage, which is also increasing in April 2025. So this is obviously good news, right? Who doesn't want more money? So if there is an increment in salaries and national minimum wage, then it's a very good news. Yeah, going rates for individual occupations in healthcare and education are also being updated, where they are drawn from national pay scales, also that they continue to reflect the latest pay scales. Updates to going rates for other occupations are being made only to reflect the new minimum salary floor of £25,000 per year, or £12.82 per hour. Changes are also being made to the rules concerning deductions from an applicant's salary. These changes are being made: 1. For consistency with how paid allowances for the same purposes are treated. 2. To mitigate against sponsorship costs being passed on to applicants. And 3. To close an unintended loophole whereby applicants could effectively pay towards their own salary through investing in their sponsor's business. Yeah, so this happens. You see a lot of people talking about how they pay for their COS and how there are a lot of deductions from their salaries, especially when they even want to leave the agency to a different agency, the deductions and all that. So it's unfair, and the government has realized that. Yeah, just recently I came across a video where a group of people, Africans, had gathered in front of one agency to demonstrate against the agency because it has been taking monies from people to give them COS, but they do not get it, and then they are being scammed. So they are scamming people. So now they realize that a lot of employers or agencies do this to their workers, especially migrant workers, to exploit them and effectively have them contribute towards their own salary. So you deduct them and then pay them their salary, still deduct them. So what are you doing? It's like you're just keeping them in that cycle, and so it's not fair. And that's what the government is intending to cut in this document. There has also been changes to settlement requirements in various work routes. Corrections are being made to definitions and settlement requirements relating to the various work routes. So this clarified that the qualifying period for settlement as a lead applicant in these routes must consist of time spent in the UK as a lead applicant, not as a dependent. Dependents may qualify for settlement separately based on the time spent in the UK as dependent. This clarifies the policy position following previous statements of changes which had unintentionally made the drafting unclear. So they are saying that if you're a lead applicant, the number of years you have to stay in the UK to qualify for settlement should be the number of years that you've stayed as a lead applicant. So if it's 5 years, you have to stay in the UK as a lead applicant to qualify for settlement. You should be in that for 5 years. And if you're a dependent, if it's 5 years, you stay 5 years as a dependent before you qualify. In general, I think this has been good news. For some time, it's been so many bad news here and there. But in today's one, we've realized that this is good news, right? It's good news for struggling care workers in the UK that cannot find jobs to do, in England that cannot find jobs to do. Now you are going to be prioritized, and now there has been an increase in the minimum wage, so salaries are going up. And then they are just clarifying because there has been some misunderstandings, some debates here and there as to what it meant. But then we can see that it's saying that in previous statements of changes, the changes that were made had unintentionally made this one clear. So this is just to make it clear that this is how it has to be. If you're a lead applicant, be a lead applicant for the number of years you need for settlement. And if you're a dependent, be a dependent for the number of years that you need to qualify for settlement. I hope you had value from this video. So if you did, do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and also share to everyone that will need it, for those who know people here in the UK or people coming, so they can be informed. We've come to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.